In today's video, I'm going to show you how my client Jack went from this to this in 10 months. But before we start, I've actually got a bug to bear. YouTube is full of people and creators with great physiques and great bodies. These people share knowledge, tips, tricks, but often it's their full-time job to do that. And my feeling is the advice they're giving isn't always the right advice for you. And that's why I'm going to be sharing case studies of real people with real lives in my videos. Jack reached out to me in July feeling overweight, sluggish, and not happy with where his body was at. Jack had trained a lot in the past and he was a confident gym user, but in recent times this had massively slipped. The pressures of working, a relationship, studying, you know how it goes. He'd been doing some 5-kilometer runs and trying to eat healthier, but things just weren't really changing. And prior to us starting, Jack had actually invested in working with another coach for a couple of months. Unfortunately, the advice and the plan he was given wasn't very tailored for him, so it wasn't long before Jack decided to bin this off. On top of this, he was about to start a brand new full-time job and really wanted to get into a better rhythm. So when Jack reached out to me for some help, we highlighted a couple of key areas that he really needed help with. What Jack needed was structure and accountability. He needed a plan that was built for him and not a randomer down the street. He needed someone who was going to say to him every single week, Jack, have you hit your targets this week? And if he hadn't hit those targets, he needed someone who could coach him and guide him on how to. Jack decided to make the investment into one-to-one coaching. We split his 10-month journey into 4 key phases, and I want to take you through those phases today. Phase number 1, the prime phase. This was about 3 months long. He was doing 4 workouts each week. He was doing 8,000 steps on average per day, and he was aiming to eat 2,200 calories a day with 1 high day per week of 2,700 calories. The reason this phase was so crucial is because we addressed the root cause of Jack's inconsistency. This was about designing his week so Jack knew he could get in the gym 4 times per week around his work schedule. He could start meal prepping to avoid convenience foods and having metrics he could track and be held accountable to every single week. This phase was a massive success and Jack went from 96 kilos to 85 kilos in 3 months. Phase number 2 was an accelerated fat loss phase. By the time Jack had hit 85 kg, his weekly weight loss had started to slow down and actually it completely stalled for a few weeks. And here's why that happened. Number 1, he was burning less calories at 85 kg than he was at 96 kilos. This is really normal when you lose a lot of body fat. Your body gets more efficient and you essentially just burn less calories per day. Therefore, it slows the amount of fat loss down. And number 2, more crucially, he'd started to receive loads of compliments from people. Now you're probably thinking, why is that a problem? Well, because Jack was seeing the benefits of compliments, feeling more confident, clothes fitting better, people saying how well you're doing, he was starting to become less adherent to the plan. His tracking had slacked at times. Going out for meals and snacking, these were becoming more regular things in Jack's week. So how did we address this? We had a good conversation and we said, look, are you done or is there more to achieve here? And we both agreed there was a lot more for Jack to achieve to feel like he'd reached his goal. So with a fresh sense of direction, we set the goal of aiming to hit 80 kilos. We dropped his calories a little bit further to 2,000 calories per day, and we upped his steps to 10,000 per day to really push things on. We moved his training to a shoulders and back focused training block as these were areas he wanted to work on. And we ended this phase at 78 kilos. So after hitting 78 kilos, we moved to phase 3, which was a short 2-week diet break. We both agreed that a diet break was needed. Jack had been pushing really hard. He'd lost an awful lot of weight, so we just gave him a couple of weeks at 2,800 calories, just trying to maintain his position. I also proposed the idea to Jack of doing my group client photo shoot as a bit of a goal and a bit of a deadline to finish this fat loss phase we were in. It's really important that you have a strong motive, otherwise fat loss can really just fizzle out, especially when you're already seeing some of the benefits. After a bit of a think, he said yes, and there we were, starting an 11-week photo shoot prep. Phase 4 was the photo shoot prep, and we were pulling out all the stops to maximize Jack's results for the big day. We tapered his calories down over the 11 weeks from 2,000 calories per day to 1,600 calories per day. We then ran a short 5-day protein sparing fast in the last 10 days to really maximize those last couple of pounds of fat loss that we felt were there to be taken. On shoot week, Jack weighed in at an all-time low of 71 kilos. And as you can see, he got some impressive pictures to showcase his results. In the space of 10 months, Jack had not only lost 25 kilos, but he had also dramatically transformed his physique, his confidence, and his belief in what he was capable of. This correlated with new opportunities in his career, in his social life, and his mental well-being. And this is what I love about my job. When you go through the transformation process, the results go far beyond just how you look. But it's also about being happier, more content, and more driven as a person. So if you've enjoyed today's client case study, then don't forget you can get the first 4 weeks of your transformation for free through my before and after blueprint program. You'll get a training plan, nutrition targets, a progress tracker, and email support from me for the whole 4 weeks. Just head down to the link in the description and you'll be able to access it and download it there. That's it from me in today's video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.